We are just waiting another 2 minutes and we will start. Hello, welcome everybody. Thank you very much for joining us at this event organized by the Embassy of Kazakhstan. In Italy. We are here to commemorate the 30th year of independence of Kazakhstan and taking this occasion also to have some networking between historical Kazakhstan partners in the business area and new faces and new blood for the economy of Kazakhstan. I will take no other time for myself. I pass the stage to the organizer and the sponsor of this great occasion, Ambassador of Kazakhstan in Italy, Yerbolat Sembaev.
Grazie Marco, grazie all'ACIC, Associazione Commercio Italo-Kazakh, che in realtà organizzatori sono loro e noi abbiamo aiutato per fare questo evento. E per me è un grande onore di darvi il benvenuto al Business Forum di oggi. E come diceva Marco Beretta, organizzata dall'ambasciata, però con un grande sostegno della regione Lombardia, ACIC, e Kazakh Invest, che è una società del Kazakistan. Questo evento ha una particolare importanza per noi alla vigilia della celebrazione del 30° anniversario dell'indipendenza della Repubblica del Kazakhstan. Proprio tra tre giorni avremo questa data importantissima. Grazie alla politica saggia del primo presidente Elbasan Nursultan Nazarbayev, Kazakhstan è diventato uno Stato democratico, moderno, riconosciuto dalla comunità mondiale e con un'economia in progressivo sviluppo. Negli anni di indipendenza il Kazakhstan è diventato un membro pieno delle Nazioni Unite e altre organizzazioni internazionali. Siamo un paese multinazionale in via di sviluppo con un potenziale economico che cerca di realizzare il concetto di Stato che ascolta per essere uno Stato professionale e responsabile nei confronti della società sotto la guida del presidente del Kazakhstan, Kassym-Jomart Tokayev. Kazakhstan attribuisce particolare importanza ai rapporti con l'Italia, considerandola uno dei partner strategici più importanti al mondo. L'operazione tra i nostri paesi è basata sull'accordo di partenariato strategico che è firmato in novembre 2009. L'anno prossimo noi celebreremo il 30° anniversario degli rapporti diplomatici tra Kazakhstan e l'Italia. Nel corso di questi anni siamo riusciti a costruire un forte dialogo politico e stretti legami commerciali, economici e culturali. Uno strumento importante per ampliare le relazioni di partenariato è il gruppo di amicizia parlamentare Kazakhstan-Italia. Speriamo che onorevole Osnato sarà con noi. Sì, sta arrivando. Indubbiamente le visite reciproche delle delegazioni parlamentari del Kazakhstan e dell'Italia contribuiscono al rafforzamento di questi legami. Contatti tra i parlamenti vengono effettuati con il vantaggio di approfondire le nostre relazioni nell'interesse dei popoli e dei nostri paesi. È necessario far notare che lo scorso anno, durante il picco della pandemia in Italia, con la decisione del presidente del Kazakhstan, Tokayev, il Kazakhstan ha avuto assistenza umanitaria alla regione Lombardia. Inoltre siamo grati alla regione Lombardia e al governo italiano per l'assistenza umanitaria fornita al Kazakhstan. E quindi, ringraziare ingegnere Paolo Ghirelli, presidente della Camera di Commercio e già presidente del Bonatti SPA, che ha dato un mano a noi per consegnare, trasportare questo aiuto umanitario dalla Lombardia fino alla regione di Almaty in Kazakhstan. Grazie, ingegnere. L'Italia è uno dei maggiori investitori nell'economia del Kazakhstan e il primo partner commerciale strategico in Europa. Basta dire che dal 1992 l'Italia ha investito nell'economia del Kazakhstan oltre 15 miliardi di dollari statunitensi e tra di loro molte compagnie italiane che conosciamo noi direttamente, come di nuovo vorrei dire al dottor ingegner Ghirelli, grazie per questo suo contributo in Kazakhstan da questi anni di indipendenza. Voglio notare in particolare il contributo significativo della società italiana ENI allo sviluppo dell'economia del nostro paese, che è una delle prime compagnie petrolifere del gas internazionale arrivate in Kazakhstan nei primi anni 90. Attualmente la società si è saldamente affermata nel settore energetico della Repubblica, detenendo partecipazioni significative in due dei più grandi progetti del paese. Eni è cooperatore nel campo di Karachaganak ed è partner del North Caspian Sea Production Sharing Agreement. Poi l'Eni ha fatto un contributo per formazione dei giovani ingegneri, economisti, finanzieri in Kazakhstan, dando le grant per studenti kazaki a quel tempo per studiare in scuola superiore di Enrico Mattei. Adesso è Eni Corporate University, se non sbaglio, e io sono uno di questi allievi che nel 95-96 ho studiato in scuola Mattei quel tempo, e adesso non so, forse una quarantina o 50 di ingegneri kazaki che sono studiati a quel tempo in scuola Mattei e Eni Corporate University. Vorrei dire che oggi più di 400 aziende italiane hanno stretti rapporti commerciali ed economici con il Kazakhstan e 255 aziende a partecipazione italiana sono registrati in Kazakhstan in vari settori della nostra economia, come petrolio, gas, edilizia, industria leggera, agricoltura, turismo e commercio. In 10 mesi del 2021 gli scambi commerciali tra Kazakhstan e Italia sono stati pari a 7,83 miliardi di dollari, ovvero il fatturato totale degli scambi commerciali è aumentato del 20% rispetto allo stesso periodo dello scorso anno. Certo che l'anno scorso era un po', diciamo, difficile per interscambi tra i due paesi, comunque stiamo facendo questo lavoro per ricevere i livelli di anno 2019. Vorrei dire anche che l'Italia è terzo partner commerciale strategico del Kazakhstan nel mondo, è il primo in Europa con una quota superiore al 9% sul volume totale degli scambi con l'estero. Sono sicuro che questo non è il limite, che abbiamo ancora un enorme potenziale per il commercio e per cooperazione economica reciprocamente vantaggiosi. Alla fine del mio intervento vorrei sottolineare la mia fiducia nel futuro della nostra cooperazione sia politicamente e nel campo dell'economia. In conclusione vorrei augurarvi buona feste che stanno per arrivare, buon Natale e felice anno nuovo per tutti. Grazie.
Meantime, Honorable Osnato join us. Thank you very much, Honorable. What I wanted to highlight is that relationship between Kazakhstan and Italy always been very good, both in central government and the regional government. The example of this forum is clear. We organized it with the help of Regione Lombardia, and Mr. Honorable Osnato is part of the Italy-Kazakhstan Parliamentary Friendship Group. I pass the stage to Honorable Osnato.
Grazie mille, thank you. Grazie mille. Sono molto felice di essere qui, ringrazio le autorità del Kazakistan di questa opportunità. Ritengo sia innanzitutto mio compito portare il saluto del Parlamento italiano, che appunto ha da tanti anni questo gruppo di amicizia, di scambio con il Parlamento del Kazakistan. Porto i saluti del Presidente Cirielli, l'onorevole Cirielli, che mi ha incaricato appunto di portare questo saluto. Credo che da questa esperienza abbiamo tratto, come dire, l'idea che gli scambi culturali, politici, sociali e particolarmente economici tra l'Italia e il Kazakistan siano assolutamente importanti e determinanti nella crescita delle relazioni tra questi paesi, siano importanti soprattutto per ampliare anche lo spettro di interscambi appunto che ci sono tra l'Europa e questa parte del mondo molto interessante qual è il Kazakistan. Avevamo in programma alcuni viaggi, alcune visite, purtroppo la situazione non ce l'ha permesso, ma siamo sicuri che potremo recuperare, proprio perché riteniamo che ci siano delle realtà e delle situazioni dal punto di vista del turismo, del manufatturiero, dell'agroalimentare, insomma di tante situazioni del design, diciamo anche della alta tecnologia che permettano appunto alle aziende italiane di poter trovare anche degli sbocchi commerciali nel Kazakistan, e sono sicuro che anche l'Italia potrà trarre dalle grandi realtà del Kazakistan molte opportunità per trovare delle soluzioni appunto nella realtà del Kazakistan. Sapete che l'Italia in questo momento ha degli appuntamenti importanti dal punto di vista istituzionale, tra poco si eleggerà il Presidente della Repubblica e credo che chiunque possa svolgere questo ruolo dovrà necessariamente essere conscio che anche il rapporto con paesi e nazioni importanti come il Kazakistan dovrà essere una delle pietre miliari dello sviluppo dell'Italia, dello sviluppo che deve essere sicuramente all'interno del contesto europeo, ma non deve perdere neanche quei rapporti bilaterali che sono necessari appunto per la crescita economica e sociale. Io credo sarà compito del mio presidente Cirielli organizzare presto, come dicevo prima, una visita a Nur Sultan, come oggi conosciamo la capitale del Kazakistan. Credo che sarà molto importante farlo a breve, anche dal punto di vista di quelle che sono le emergenze contingenti, anche quelle dal punto di vista energetico, dal punto di vista appunto di tante situazioni che possono coinvolgere le due nazioni. Quindi io oggi ascolto volentieri quelle che saranno anche le sollecitazioni che verranno da questo importante convegno e ringrazio molto dell'opportunità.
Thank you, Honorable. Unfortunately, with this COVID problem, we were not able to host our Kazakh friends in Italy because of this Super Green Pass issue. but we have many of our colleagues and friends connected online from Kazakhstan, and we also obviously have one of the biggest partner of Kazakhstan, any SPI, willing to show their happiness for the 30th year of Kazakhstan. And we have unfortunately just recorded video, but obviously we are very happy to have it. It is the head of Central Asia region, Dr. Luciano Vasquez, which recorded the video for us, because as you can imagine, in Kazakhstan, today's and tomorrow is going to be big days. There will be many official events, and we will then give the stage to the video of Mr. Vasquez. Please.
Ambassador, honorable participants to the forum, thank you for having me today to speak about Kazakhstan and our cooperation. ENI came to the Republic in 1992, just after it declared its independence in December 91. Back then, Kazakhstan was looking for investors of the oil and gas sector development. We responded positively to that search, and from the start of our activities in Kazakhstan, we have invested more than $15 billion in the economy of the Republic, mostly in the two mega projects of Karachaganak and Kashagan. But we keep looking for additional opportunities and projects to be launched in the country. That remains a key one in our portfolio. At the start of our cooperation, we were an oil and gas company. Throughout these decades, we transformed into an integrated company to be able to answer the current global challenges. Our dedication to energy transition translates into tangible actions aimed at achieving the total decarbonization of products and processes by 2050. Kazakhstan is also progressing towards carbon neutrality as part of the nation's strengthened national climate plan. In fact, Kazakhstan became the world's first country where ENI launched its first renewables wind project in March 2020 through the commercial operation of the 48 megawatt Badam Shah wind farm in Aktobe region, with an annual power generation of 195 gigawatt hour and overall CO2 saving of 172,000 tons per year. ENI is now launching the project's second phase with 48 megawatt of additional capacity and working on the construction of a 50 megawatt photovoltaic plant in Shaldir village, Turkestan region. In 2021, ENI and Kazmunegas signed cooperation agreements for the development of renewable, hydrogen and biofeedstock projects, strengthening and widening our historic partnership to the energy transition scope. Through these agreements, ENI marks a further tangible step in line with companies' commitments towards a just energy transition and decarbonization, while contributing to the country's neutrality targets. Besides the wind and solar activity, ENI will leverage all its proprietary technologies developed over the last few years and focused on energy transition. We see Kazakhstan continue to represent a country of opportunities. The Republic is actively engaged in improving conditions to promote and stimulate investment in this period of harsh competitions for capital. Notwithstanding the unprecedented global economic and health crisis, both business and the state continue operating progressively to minimize the drastic effect of the pandemic on Kazakhstan investment attractiveness. I cannot close without congratulating the Republic of Kazakhstan with the 30th anniversary of its independence. Please accept my heartfelt wishes of good health, prosperity, and stability for many years to come.
Virtual thank you to Dr. Vasquez, and we will pass soon to the business part of this event, but between the welcome speeches and the business part, we wanted to have some cultural part and some interesting news information, which will be shared with us by the Nursultan Nazarbayev Foundation, the Deputy Head of International Program, Jana Tayeva.
Yes, thank you, Marco. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, warmest greetings from snowy and frozen Nur-Sultan. Nearly 2 years ago, no one could have imagined choosing remote discussions over personal interaction. No one could have expected a small-scale virus outbreak to dramatically change our normal routines of our lives, to hit the economics hard, to force our countries to isolation. The extent to which the world is interconnected and interdependent has been demonstrated to us again, this time by the pandemic. We also have learned that international cooperation is the best solution to address the challenges. I therefore would like to thank the organizers for such an idea of today's forum, and I do believe that today, that event that we're having today would contribute to engineering best solutions to any current challenges. The year of 2021 marks the milestone anniversary of independence of Kazakhstan. 30 years of independence are the 30 years of peace and creation, 30 years of building a modern state, a full-fledged economy, a solid social sector. Kazakhstan today is a well-established and internationally recognized state, a responsible partner, actively engaged both in the region and the world. Since the early days of independence, the leadership of Kazakhstan has followed a clear formula: economy first, then politics. Every step of our political reforms has been tied to our economic development and modernization. In addition to that, a proactive multi-vector foreign policy and investment strategy were in place, ready for further development of the country. It was the strategic choice by the founder of modern Kazakhstan, its first president, Nursultan Nazarbayev. This choice has proven to be sound and effective again and again over the years. Today, Kazakhstan has emerged as an important player in global economy and an attractive investment destination. The country has attracted over $350 billion of foreign direct investment, and FDI inflow in Kazakhstan continues to show the positive dynamics. Ties between Kazakhstan and Italy also developed strongly during almost 3 decades of cooperation and relationship, with Italy taking its strong position in the list of Kazakhstan's important trade partners and investors. Kazakhstan, in turn, also secured its good place in Italy's as Italy's partner, good partner in the region. With global economic shifting, power shifting eastwards, and the rising role of Asia, Central Asia is to play the crucial role in promoting economic growth and social well-being of the Eurasian continent. Kazakhstan has always been a strong advocate for the integrity of countries and unity of nations. This commitment is reflected in the international initiative by the first president of Kazakhstan, Nursultan Nazarbayev, aimed at strengthening political dialogue, and what is also important, economic cooperation between the countries, regions, and all kinds of unions. The distance between our regions, Central Asia and Western Europe, is no longer a limiting factor, and thus this enables us to scale up cooperation, to explore more opportunities, also to promote the concept of indivisible security, politics, economics, humanitarian, and other components. We are convinced that the time has come to gather together the many different strands of Kazakh-Italian cooperation, to create a powerful bond of collaboration on which our countries could draw together when addressing jointly and mutually current and future challenges and opportunities, and not only in their best interests, but also in those in Central Asia, Europe, and the wider world. I wish everyone fruitful and valuable discussions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Giada. We will now move to the core of this forum, to the business part. And obviously, we are very glad to have an introduction to this business attractiveness in Kazakhstan made by the Deputy Chairman of the Management Board of Kazakh Invest, Jandos Tamirgali.
Thank you, Mr. Gureta. Dear Excellencies, Your Excellency, Ambassador Mr. Yerbulat Simbayev, Your Excellency, Mr. Marcos Nato, dear ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome all the participants of the Kazakhstan-Italian Business Forum. This month, Kazakhstan celebrates the 30th anniversary of independence. All these years, relations between Kazakhstan and Italy have always been working and productive. Over the course of the last decade, the Italian business invested over $4.2 billion to Kazakhstan's economy. Talking about trade, within the last 4 years, the bilateral turnover amounted to over $37.4 billion. Currently, there are around 162 Italian companies operating in Kazakhstan. Surely, we don't consider the current standings to be sufficient, and there's a high potential for development of the economic cooperation in multiple sectors. And today, we're here to talk about the new opportunities. Let me share the presentation with you. Hope everyone can see it. So my today's presentation will include overview of Kazakhstan's investment potential, state support measures, as well as the assistance provided by Kazakh Invest National Company. So let me first give you the brief overview about the country's economic position on the global map. Kazakhstan is, as you know, the 9th largest country in the world with a population over 19 million people. Very important aspect is the traditional presence in Kazakhstan of a political stability and friendly relations with all countries of the world. As a result, Kazakhstan is a leader in Central Asia by Global Peace Index. Kazakhstan also is the largest economy in Central Asia, with a GDP of over 170 billion. In fact, Kazakhstan has the highest GDP than all other 4 Central Asian states combined. According to the World Bank, Kazakhstan is an upper middle income country currently. The turnover of Kazakhstan accounts about 58% of the entire turnover, trade turnover of the Central Asia, and the national reserves exceed $90 billion. Since independence in 1991, Kazakhstan has attracted over 280 billion of FDI, thus staying the largest FDI recipient in the Central Asian region. So why Kazakhstan is an attractive investment destination for international business? Strategically located at the heart of Eurasia, Kazakhstan boasts abundant natural reserves, production efficiency, and favorable investment climate. The country offers comprehensive state support across various sectors, as well as a relatively affordable and qualified labor. So market opportunities is one of the key factors for business decision makers. So let me highlight that Kazakhstan has direct access to the market of more than 1 billion consumers, including the countries of the Eurasian Economic Union, China, and Caspian Basin. One of the key advantages Kazakhstan is its favorable geographical position between Europe and Asia, which underlines its significant transport and logistics potential. Strategically, it links the large and fast-growing markets. It's 65% of the world's GDP, by the way. Those of China, Southeast Asia, Middle East, and Western Europe by automobile and railroads, airports, and ports, seaports, and the Caspian. I hope that you can see my presentation. The next slide, because I don't see it on the screen.
We just see one, your first slide, that's it. Now, yes, now, yes.
Okay. Okay. As you remember, the famous Marco Polo Road, Kazakhstan holds the Silk Road. And thanks to the existing multiple transcontinental roads, Kazakhstan is one of the most important participants of the Belt and Road Initiative. Transcontinental transportation allows transferring goods from China to Europe 3 to 4 times faster. It's 15 days by railroads and 10 days by highway. Compared to the sea roads, it's 45 to 60 days, which significantly decreases the opportunity cost. Over the past 10 years, the government has invested over $30 billion to transport infrastructure. As such, Kazakhstan can become the gateway to the largest markets, offering the multimodal logistics opportunities. In Kazakhstan, as you know, over 80% of land is used for agricultural production. According to the Food and Agriculture Association, Kazakhstan is the 6th largest country in the world by agricultural land area. Kazakhstan is unusually gifted with natural resources. Almost all of the elements of the periodic table can be found in the Kazakhstan soil. To make this fact more concrete, about 90% of the rare earth metals found in the modern smartphone can be mined in Kazakhstan. So therefore, huge natural resources make Kazakhstan an important supplier to the global commodity markets. And currently, the World Bank estimates that there are over 5,000 unexplored deposits still present in Kazakhstan, valued over $46 trillion. Moreover, as you can see, Kazakhstan has huge renewable energy potential, and we can see the growing interest from the Italian companies in this renewable energy area. Notably, Kazakhstan is a cost-efficient manufacturing hub. Compared with neighboring countries, Kazakhstan has affordable prices for electricity, gas, and other utilities, as well as the average net wage in Kazakhstan is relatively low, comparing even with China. So at the same time, manufacturers operating in Kazakhstan enjoy the direct access to major global markets, which is provided both by transport logistics routes and trade agreements. I would like to emphasize that Kazakhstan pays a lot of attention to building a strong and competitive environment for business. This is confirmed by rankings in Heritage Foundation, e-government, and global competitiveness. According to UNCTAD World Investment Report this year, Kazakhstan showed the largest increase in FDI among the transition economies. We don't content ourselves with the achievements to date, so the government constantly working on improving our domestic investment climate in accordance with the best international standards. Firstly, Kazakhstan created an appropriate legislative base. Kazakhstan signed more than 50 bilateral and multilateral investment treaties, which guarantee the rights of investors. Secondly, Kazakhstan developed multiple platforms to communicate and effectively solve the rising issues of investors. For instance, we need to mention the Foreign Investor Council, chaired by the President of the Republic of Kazakhstan, and the Council on Improvement of Investment Climate and Investment Council under the Prime Minister of Kazakhstan, to solve the rising issues, to change the legislature and grant support for the existing investors. And also, you know, the Astana International Financial Center, AFC, plays an important role in positioning Kazakhstan as a regional center for business and finance. I would like to know that Kazakhstan also has the highest literacy rate in the region and the qualified and educated workforce. According to the UN Education Index, Kazakhstan is number 35 in the world. The country's population is multilingual with good knowledge of English, which undoubtedly makes it easier to conduct business in the country. According to the National Bolashak Scholarship Program, more than 14,000 of the best minds studied in the world's top universities. And currently, there are more than 100 of higher education institutions in Kazakhstan. So Kazakhstan in general offers a simplified regime for foreign labor employment. The government of Kazakhstan provides comprehensive support for investment projects that includes fiscal incentives, such as various subsidies and exemption from taxes, and non-fiscal tax subsidies, such as free plot of rent or infrastructure. Also, in accordance with the global best practices on investment attraction, Kazakhstan has 13 special economic zones located all over Kazakhstan that provide established infrastructure and a wide range of investment preferences. Also have 36 industrial zones with turnkey infrastructure. As a result of these measures, the share of FDI in manufacturing has grown 5 times in the last 15 years. This year, moreover, Kazakhstan introduced a new instrument to attract investment and improve investment climate is the investment agreement, which grants the stability of legislature for 25 years and a full, more extended list of preferences. So today, Kazakhstan offers new opportunities, not just in terms of natural resources. Thanks to the government efforts to diversify the economy and release the potential of major domestic industries, vast investment opportunities are opening up in various sectors, including agribusiness, healthcare, transportation, logistics, tourism, petrochemicals, and machinery, and many other sectors. Kazakh Invest will constantly analyze the areas with great development potential, identify potential niches, and projects attractive to investors. We have prepared more than 170 investment proposals, and these investment proposals include teaser, business plan, and financial model for particular projects. Each project is initiated and backed up by a local business partner. For example, on this slide, you can see the investment proposals in agribusiness across the regions of Kazakhstan. So agribusiness is one of the strategic sectors of Kazakhstan's economy that has tremendous potential for further growth. Kazakhstan is often characterized as the breadbasket of Eurasia. So we clearly identified the priorities in agribusiness as one of the key sectors. For instance, is the processing of oilseed, cereals, dairy, meat, greenhouses, intensive orchards, and many other sectors, specific sectors that we offer investment proposals for our partners. Now, let me briefly introduce Kazakh Invest. Our organization is the National Investment Promotion Agency, the unified investment operator of the Republic of Kazakhstan, who provide a full range of services to support investment activities and advance particular projects. Kazakh Invest can act as your guide, investment guide in Kazakhstan. For potential investors, we provide detailed country information, plus sectoral reviews, and what is important, specific investment proposals prepared by our team, together with international consultants. Then we organize targeted visits to Kazakhstan. We set up meetings with central government bodies and local authorities. We have representatives in all regions of Kazakhstan. Also important sector and this, that we provide is the business matchmaking. We assist in searching for a strong local partner. Then we assist in structuring of investment projects, providing various options for financing. We guide investors all the way through the project implementation stage, and even after the successful launch of the project, we provide continuous aftercare support on the questions the investors may have during their investment journey in Kazakhstan. So as you can see on this slide, many multinational companies have already chosen Kazakhstan for expanding their operations and opening production locally. We can see many Italian companies, as I mentioned before, on this list, and we would be happy to see even more of the Italian companies among this list. And in total, there are around 50,000 companies with foreign participation already enjoy the benefits of doing business in Kazakhstan. So I'd like to thank everyone for your attention, and Kazakh Invest is committed to provide comprehensive support in your business in Kazakhstan. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We now, passing the stage after investment opportunity, we need to have support from Italian government and from Italian financial institutions. So we have the pleasure to have here such a Moscow representative, Benedetta Premuda. Thank you very much.
Buongiorno, good morning. Thank you very much for the invitation to such event. It's a pleasure to be here with you today. As you mentioned, SACE is based in Moscow with an office, and from Moscow we follow Russia and the CIS countries, so also Kazakhstan, of course. Today I will provide you with a short overview of our business and the new opportunities that we have in the country. Currently, such exposure in Kazakhstan, it's not huge because we have approximately 7-8 million euro of exposure. And last year and beginning of this year, we supported a small medium company to finalize a transaction we closed approximately 8 transactions for 10 million euro under suppliers credit scheme. So this means that we provided our insurance coverage to small medium company that export some supplies and provided this furniture to Kazakh counterparts. It's quite important to stress this and underline this aspect because we closed not deal only with huge and big and large corporate, but also with small and medium enterprises. So it's a pleasure, let me say, to support Italian companies in this regard. Generally speaking, however, if we look at the export from Italy to Kazakhstan, it's quite important because in 2020 it was equal to approximately 550 million euro, out of which 340 million euro refers to machinery that could need financing, medium long-term financing. And in this regard, of course, as Italian Export Credit Agency, we can support the Italian company and also the Kazakh counterparts to receive such kind of financing and support. And so we can provide guarantee for medium long-term also to up to 7 or 10 years repayment. If we look at the business opportunity, the new business opportunity for the coming years, as I mentioned before, we have currently some small medium deal. So what we expect also for the next year is to finalize some transaction with small medium company under the suppliers credit scheme. And we are also looking at a couple of projects of a bigger amount for a total amount up to €500 million. One project is in the construction sector, and it refers to the construction of a management center. And another project is in the energy sector, and it refers to the construction of a new power plant where, of course, are involved Italian company. And currently, we are looking preliminary at this deal, and we hope that we could finalize soon. Said that, we really hope to increase our business in the country, and also next year to have the opportunity to have a business trip in Kazakhstan that unfortunately this year due to the current situation was not possible, let me say, from our side, and so to have the opportunity to meet in person the Kazakh counterparts. And for any needs, you can contact us from Kazakh side and also Italian side, and we will be glad to provide you with our support.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So for oil and gas people like me, which moved to Kazakhstan some years ago, it's a great pleasure now to have the honor to introduce Dr. Paolo Ghirelli as President of the Italo-Kazakh Chamber of Commerce. Thank you very much.
My presentation. Anyway, what I would like to present to you today is a smaller story of one association that started in 1996 and started for building friendship and cooperation between Kazakh and Italy. Next, please. Yes. So as you can see, the association anyway, its history have been founded, of course, by the former, at that time, president of ENI Group, Guglielmo Moscato, and of course, from the Kazakh side, from Mr. Merey Omarov. And so the scope was to strengthen and develop a relation. At the beginning, you can see the main actor of this association, of course, have been the ENI Group company, Asso Lombarda, and Kazakh embassy, since the beginning supported the creation of the new association that time by time became a Chamber of Commerce. The next, please. You can see.
Io ero in questo evento quando ero presentato Camera di
No. We will see your presence in the next slide. You can see here the person that we mentioned at the beginning of the activities of the association, Mr. Moscato, of course, the president of the country, Mr. Nazarbayev. The next one, please. And you can see we are in this picture in 2008. 2008 is the year in which the association have been transformed in Chamber of Commerce belong by MISE, Ministero Industria Sviluppo Economico. You can see on the right side a young guy with a brilliant future in front of him is Mr. Yerbolat Sembayev. You can see there. So, next one, please. We already told about Chamber of Commerce. We can go ahead. And now we jump to the themes of the day. Next one. Well, first of all, Kazakhstan is very well positioned. Of course, already Kazakh Invest speaker talk about the advantages that have a country to be member of Eurasian Customs Union. And working in the country, really you can touch with your hands what does it mean. You can import from the Russian market good, very elementary, but also some sophisticated group with no problem in custom. And so you can fulfill your activities in very easy way. The next one, please. The other aspect, of course, is the logistic. We show here the Gorgos port, that is the biggest dry port in the world. The port is linking China to Kazakhstan and Kazakhstan to Europe. The next one. Resources already have been clearly illustrated. The number of resources that make the country very, very rich. Of course, at the beginning, the growth of the country have been sustained by oil and gas and mining activities. But I would like to stress the point that the country makes, since the beginning, a really effective local content policy. I would like only remember that starting from 2014, the government started promoting joint venture between Kazakh and international company as a key driver for the country economies. The next, please. And we can show, we directly have the opportunity to participate to this big effort from the government to promote the creation of a partnership between the medium and small Italian factory and the parallel Kazakh factory. You can see here one of the numerous round table that have been done in that period. This one, I remember, was chaired by Mr. Isikiev. It was at the time Ministry of Industry and New Technology, and Mr. Psembayev, that was in charge in promote the growth of Kazakh industry. The next one. Modernization. From the experience that we made, like a contractor that started operating in the country since the end of the last century, in 1999, more than 20 years of experience, of activities. Of course, we can prove that the country, of course, reach a boost to digitalization of processes and system. And just to be concrete, for example, it's usual today to have electronic payments, so no more money, paper money have to be moved. Also, the international financial system is very well connected to the international bank system. Also, the public administration has strongly modernized its processes. For example, the electronic filing of custom clearance tax declaration is not usual activities in the countries of Central Asia. About the membership of international organization, Mr. Sembayev already told us, so we can go to the next slide. Well, attractivity. The country is a magnet for a high value addition investment. First of all, we already said about the modernization of public administration. Now, in the last year, the country comply with international fighting corruption and boosting transparencies, and about the favorable tax and labor environment. I think that it's useful to remember that the corporate income tax is 20%, and the personal income tax rate in the country is 10%. We notice a continuous improvement and modernization of the tax code, and have been already mentioned by the speaker of Kazakh Invest about the great advantage apported by the special economics zones and for the benefit in tax regime. The next one, we have an example here. Please, the next one. We have an example in which Italy had a rules for Italian manufacturer. Worked out special economic zone have been fully dedicated for creating an Italian oil district, and is located in Aktau. It's a town on the Caspian Sea, promoted by Akimat and Simest, and at that time also we took part like Bonatti. The next one, maturity. As we showed before, the internationalization of the country started 30 years ago. And we can say now that the country, Kazakhstan, has a long legacy in liaising within the global market. But for the future, the new growth opportunity of the country's economy will be presented by the new opportunities in agro-industry, renewable energy, circular economy, and financial services. We can go to the next slide. An example, we had the opportunity to participate. We, like Chamber of Commerce, Italo-Kazakh, to this agro-processing and logistic center in Taras, in the southern of the country. Agro Taras was the name, in which Italian specialized company in logistic and in food processing, mainly located in our town, Parma, that is very famous for the food processing, starting from tomato to meat and to pasta and to Parmesan cheese. Ecco, this one, it has been an example of cooperation that we started years ago with the country. The next one, please. In this picture, we can show the presence of the main Italian contractor that started following the oil and gas activities in the countries. Of course, he and I have been the first one, followed by all the supply chain of E&I worldwide. You can see all here, a big number of Italian contractors. The next one. Just to give a dimension to the presence of Italian contractor and manufacturer in Kazakhstan, excluding, of course, the E&I activities, we can say that they reach altogether a peak of production, variable year by year, until 2 billion per year, and the peak of employment reach up to 50,000 Kazakh resources. I think we arrived at the next one, to the end of the presentation. Thanks for your attention.
Grazie, Dottor Ghirelli, grazie mille. Where there is oil and gas, there is technology. Where there is technology and machinery production, there is very often an Italian company. And Kazakhstan has launched an initiative for the attraction of foreign producer of oil and gas machinery to establish production in Kazakhstan. We have the honor to have here the chairman of the International Center for the Development of Oil and Gas Machine Building, Marat Karimov.
Yes, thank you. Buongiorno. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Құрметті Ерболат Насимұлы, әріптестер, саламатсыздар ма? On behalf of International Center for Development of Oil and Gas Machine Building, I'd like to thank organizers for inviting us to attend this important forum. It is good to see some of old friends after some time, of course. As you are aware, Kazakhstan's oil and gas industry is highly dependent on imported goods. So the issue was addressed by the decision to create a working group for the development of oil and gas machine building sector with the participation of the three largest oil and gas operators in Kazakhstan, namely Tengizchevroil, North Caspian Operating Company, and Karachaganak Petroleum Operating Company. Within the framework of this working group, an action plan was developed, and one of the actions was the creation of our center. In November last year, an agreement of intent was signed between the two key ministries and the major operators. And we have started our activities by signing the relationship agreement with the major operators in April of this year. Next, please. This slide shows the basic principles of our center's activity. The center, with the support of three operators, has the ability to consolidate data on the demands for oil and gas machine building goods, thus creating the scale of the demands data analyzing by including the largest consumers. Comprehensive support of the major operators, international companies, knowledge and experience in the development of local content will allow us to bring global experience and world best practices to the development of local manufacturers. We're aware that the development of oil and gas machine building sector will not happen suddenly and requires intensive work of all stakeholders. Many issues will affect various sectors of the economy. Solving problems may require interaction of various parties. So through the support of the stakeholders, we have the opportunity to submit for discussion and the solution the issues of the machine building manufacturers with the participation of all necessary parties. Next, please. Let me briefly introduce you with the main areas of the center activities. This year, we are primarily focused on analyzing the initial data of the 3 operators, their demands and the respective technical data. The results of the analysis will be needed for the following work streams: targeted market research and analysis, identification of investment opportunities, advocacy issues, and as a result, the development of the capacities and potential of producers. All of the above activities will follow and mature during the next year, which is expected to be more intensive in terms of close work and engagement with the market based on the analytics conducted this year. Center's main directions and the operational framework are the following. Standards. As you are aware, the main barrier to successful participation in the procurement of largest operators is the technical inconsistency of local manufacturers with the technical specifications of operators, which often require compliance of goods to an international standards such as ISME, API, ASTM International, etc. Having assessed the current situation and the status of the production facilities of a particular manufacturer, the center will provide clear recommendations and development plans for these manufacturers so that they in turn can, following the recommendations and plans, properly adjust their production as to meet the requirements of operators. In terms of commodities, initially we will focus on the commodities that are sustainable demanded by operators, have the lowest level of localization amongst commodities, and having highest localization potential, less science and technology intensive. Further, the center will continue to work on more complex and high-tech productions, taking into account the feasibility of developing such and the demand by operators. When categorizing the goods, we will use the international coding FPAL because the majority of operators use this coding. And with this, I have finished my presentation, and thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much. In these days, we all know that medical devices and big pharmas are the main stream for each discussion and in each forum. And obviously, we wanted to involve the medical business attraction of Kazakhstan, inviting the head of strategy department of Samruk-Kazyna Pharmacy, Aygul Sizdikova.
Уважаемые участники Казахстанско-итальянского бизнес-форума, от имени единого дистрибьютора Республики Казахстан примите наши искренние поздравления с государственным праздником Днем независимости Республики Казахстан.
Dear participants of the Kazakhstan-Italy Business Forum, on behalf of the single distributor of the Republic of Kazakhstan, please accept my sincere congratulations on the state holiday, Independence Days of the Republic of Kazakhstan.
А сейчас позвольте немножко рассказать о вообще принципе о системе единой дистрибуции в Казахстане и о тех преференциях, которые могут быть предложены на нашем рынке для наших иностранных инвесторов. Система основана в 2009 году, и основной ее целью является поддержка отечественного фармпроизводства в Казахстане и бесперебойное обеспечение лекарствами в рамках государственного объема бесплатной медицинской помощи и обязательно социального медицинского страхования.
So now let me introduce the subsidies and preferences provided by the single distributor. So single distribution system was established in 2019 to consolidate the purchase of medicine under the state budget and is regulated by relevant regulations. Вас не слышно.
Объем фармацевтического рынка Казахстана составляет порядка $1,5 миллиарда США, где 37% это бюджетный канал, а в структуре бюджетного финансирования 66% объема госрынка лекарств обеспечивают за счет именно СК Фармация, то есть единого дистрибьютора. При этом из того, что закупает СК Фармация, 60% приходится на амбулаторно-лекарственное обеспечение и 40% на обеспечение стационарной помощи.
So the volume of the pharmaceutical market in Kazakhstan is $1.5 billion, and 37% of this budget is the budget channel. So in the structure of the budget financing, 66% of state medicines market volume is provided by SK Pharmacy, and 60% of it is dedicated for outpatient medicines provision, and 40% is for provision of inpatient care.
За период десятилетней работы единого дистрибьютора значительно отмечается рост закупа через систему единой дистрибуции. Это $72 миллионов США в 2010 году и до $790 миллионов США уже в 2021 году. Это позволило достигнуть значительной экономии бюджетных средств и увеличить долю потребления отечественных препаратов в 3 раза.
Well, over the 10-year period of the single distributor, there has been a significant increase in procurement, and it has risen from 72 million in 2010 to 790 million in 2021, which is like an 8-fold increase. So this made it possible to achieve significant budget savings and increase the share of domestic medicine consumption by 3 times.
При этом хотелось бы отметить, что в 2021 году по итогам закупа первое место по размеру доли в общем объеме закупа на первое место вышла отечественная продукция. Также хотели бы отметить, что с 2009 по 2021 годы наблюдается планомерный рост доли казахстанских препаратов в закупе единого дистрибьютора, и большая часть препаратов именно отечественного производства закупается посредством заключения долгосрочных контрактов на 10 лет.
Also, according to the results of the purchase, the first place in the share of the total volume of procurement was taken by domestic products. And in the period from 2009 until 2021, there was a systematic increase in the share of Kazakhstan medicine in the procurement of the single distributor. And most of the domestic medicines are purchased through long-term contracts with domestic manufacturers for 10 years.
В общем объеме закупа через единого дистрибьютора отмечается значительный рост объемов наших товаров, наших производителей на денежном выражении практически в 15 раз. Доля отечественной продукции от всех закупленных медикаментов в этом году составила 37%, и на сегодня нами уже заключены 89 долгосрочных договоров с 35 отечественными производителями на около 5000 наименований лекарственных средств и медицинских изделий.
In the total volume of procurement through the single distributor, there is an increase in the volume of domestic production in monetary terms. So it has increased by 2 times almost. The share of domestic products from all purchased medicines makes 37%. And as of today, we have concluded 89 long-term contracts with 35 domestic producers for about 500 items of medicine.
Отечественных производителей увеличение извините. Поддержка отечественных товаропроизводителей, уже говорила, долгосрочные поставки, которые определенную нишу качественного по долгосрочным договорам.
Well, support of domestic producers is presented in the form of signing long-term supply contracts for 10 years, which provides the producer with a certain niche of the pharmaceutical market for sale of finished products in the future, subject to compliance with timely and quality performance of obligations under the long-term supply contracts.
Ну и также одним из элементов поддержки иностранных инвесторов является заключение контрактов с заказчиками контрактного производства, тоже долгосрочные контракты. Здесь делается основной упор на крупных производителей Big Pharma. И мы прекрасно понимаем, что именно взаимодействие с крупной фарминдустрией является, может стать очень мощным стимулом для развития нашего казахстанского производства. Ожидания от этого проекта у нас достаточно велики. Мы считаем, что это повлечет за собой современное перевооружение фармпромышленности Казахстана, быстрый рост ее мощностей, развитие фарм-кластеров, производство сырья, оригинальных продуктов, и также развитие фармнауки во взаимодействии с производством оригинальных медикаментов и наращивание кадрового потенциала фарминдустрии.
So concluding long-term contracts is one of the priorities. And of course, we pay much attention to the development of interaction with the world's major pharmaceutical industry, Big Pharma. And actually, it serves as a powerful incentive and impetus for the development of domestic production. We expect from this project a great outcomes. So such as we expect that it will modernize and re-equip Kazakhstan's pharmaceutical industry. Also, we expect a rapid growth of its capacity, development of pharmaceutical cluster, production of raw materials, creation of new jobs, high export potential of new line of original products, as well as development of pharmaceutical science interaction with production of original medicines and increase of human resource capacities.
Ну, на сегодняшний день наша основная задача – это обеспечить площадку для входа в страну крупных лекарственных брендов от упаковки до полного цикла производства. И для снижения барьеров развития контрактного производства с иностранными фармкомпаниями в соответствующих нормативных актах Казахстана уже предусмотрены меры по упрощению процедур локализации производства, с учетом всех циклов, начиная вот именно от расфасовки и заканчивая глубокой локализацией. Данная мера также направлена на привлечение производства на территории Казахстана брендовых препаратов, и не только, в том числе это сейчас мы нацеливаемся на изменения, хотим внести такие изменения в нормативно-правовые акты, которые позволят нам локализовать в Казахстане, в том числе и производство не только брендов, но и биосимиляров и генерических препаратов.
So the main task is to provide a platform for large pharmaceutical brands to enter the country from packaging to the full production cycle, and to reduce the barriers to the development of contract manufacturing with foreign pharmaceutical companies in the relevant regulations. We are already providing measures to simplify procedures for localization of production, taking into account all cycles from packaging to deep localization. These measures aimed at attracting and production of brand name medicine in Kazakhstan, as well as, for example, amendments and additions are also expected in terms of formalizing detailed regulations for contract manufacturing of medicines.
На сегодняшний день в Казахстане существует порядка 96 отечественных товаропроизводителей, на площадках которых возможна локализация производства препаратов от иностранных фармпроизводителей. Также существует ряд институтов для поддержки инвестиционных проектов, в частности, для оказания финансовой поддержки, организации торговых и финансовых потоков. Ну, наиболее подробно о механизмах поддержки инвестиционных проектов вы можете ознакомиться на нашем сайте, специально разработанном нами совместно с Казах Инвестом инвест-гайдбуке, в котором предоставлена полная информация о тех преференциях, которые на сегодняшний день имеются в Казахстане. И этот инвест-гайдбук, он размещен в открытом доступе на английском языке в том числе. Благодарим за внимание и приглашаем вас к сотрудничеству. Спасибо.
So currently in Kazakhstan domestic market, we have around 26 local manufacturers based on which we can localize. There are also a number of institutions in Kazakhstan that support investment projects. In particular, they are ready to provide financial support, organize trade and financial flows. Such companies include, for example, Bayterik Fund, Castrade, and Kazakh Invest, and many others. So you can find more detailed information about support mechanisms for investment projects in our Invest Guidebook, which is publicly available on our website. And of course, you can always contact us for any further information. Thank you for your attention, and we invite you to cooperate with us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Another very interesting area of business is the tourism attraction of Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan is a region which is as big as Europe without the island, the northern island of Europe. You can imagine the attraction that can be in a country such big as Kazakhstan. The difference between the north and the south allow you to have different climate and different experience, both for adventure and for fishing, hunting, but not only. The national company Kazakh Tourism is following the attraction of tourism. They have great ideas on making Kazakhstan famous around the world, and I'm very happy to have here my good friend Kairat Sadvakasov as a deputy of Kazakh Tourism.
Thank you, Marco. Honorable Excellencies, esteemed colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Kazakh Tourism is the national company under the Ministry of Culture and Sports. Our main goal is to attract both tourist and foreign investment into Kazakhstan. Our recent reactivation of tourism interaction with Italy has become, after the successful participation of Kazakhstan at the Expo 2015 in Milano. The pavilion was one of the most visited, with 5,000 visitors per day at average, with the overall visitation of 8 million people during 6 months. I'd like to know that the 1 millionth visitor, Mr. Daniele Bergo, he received a free tour to Kazakhstan for 2 people, which he successfully honored. In 2016, he came with his wife and 2 of his friends to visit Kazakhstan, and ever since he became the ambassador of Kazakhstan's tourism in Italy. In 2017, I visited myself Milano with the promotion of our Expo 2017 event. We met with a few travel agencies there, including Alessandro Rosso Group. A huge interest from both sides. We brought our travel operators from Kazakhstan. We held a couple of business matching meetings. Again, huge interest, but there is no direct flight, unfortunately, between our destinations, and thus resulting in very low visitation from both sides. In good times, meaning pre-COVID, in 2018, 2019, we received 12,000 plus visitors from Italy. Of course, there's a huge potential from both sides. We can be doing more. Unfortunately, we don't know how many tourists exactly visit from Kazakhstan to Italy, again, because we don't have this direct flight. However, there were 2 test flights by Italian NEOS company in July and in October. And thank you very much, the embassies on both sides. Thank you very much to the Italo-Kazakh Trade Association, Marco, personally to you for making this happen. We really hope that these 2 chartered flights will grow into a regular flight between our countries in order to realize this huge potential. Nevertheless, in the meantime, we're cooperating closely with the Embassy of Italy here in Kazakhstan, with His Excellency Marco Alberti and his Deputy Vincenzo Spinelli. Just recently, we recorded a podcast with La Cucina Italiana, a very famous magazine about the similarities between hospitality and food culture of Italy and Kazakhstan. Next year, we are hoping to organize a visit by Maestro Alessandro Martire, a famous Italian pianist who visited Kazakhstan in June of this year in Turkestan. And hopefully we can bring him next year in summer to Almaty region to feature beautiful, majestic nature and glacier lakes of the Almaty region. Let me jump to my slides now. Madina, if you can please turn on our presentation. I'll be very brief to speak about the potential of tourism in Kazakhstan, both on the visitor side and the investment side. We can go straight ahead to the next slide. It has been mentioned many times today from both sides about the geographical location of Kazakhstan. We are sandwiched between huge markets, Russia and China, and we're sharing with neighboring Uzbekistan and Kazakhstan this legacy of the Silk Road. Silk Road, by far, is the most famous tourism route in the world. Back in 2015, the United Nations World Tourism Organization held a research, and it turned out that the mentions on the net, both in social media and different forums about social media, counted to 300 million times. So that's how important the Silk Road is to the country. Next slide, Madina, and if you can turn to the full screen. So the geographical location gives us this opportunity to receive culture heritage tours. I know that Italian tourists, although the travel behavior has changed a little bit after COVID, nevertheless, the Italian tourists are very keen to travel on for culture tourism. Madina, next slide. I think we're experiencing some technical issues.
Yeah, you should put it full screen, probably.
Madina is assisting me here.
Okay.
I'm sorry, it's full screen on my screen.
It's not on ours. Try again.
Should I start from the beginning? Just a second.
And straight to the next slide. So as Marco mentioned, there is a huge potential here, given the territory of Kazakhstan. It's the 9th largest country in the world, with all landscapes possible. Madina, microphone отключите.
Background noise, can you please mute, please, all the participants mute.
So again, the huge potential with given different types of landscapes, from sea to desert to steppes to majestic mountains, as you can see here in the background picture. So given this and the diversity of ethnic groups that we have, and Kazakhstan is home to more than 130 different ethnic groups, nationalities, from ethnic German to ethnic Koreans, different Slavic nations, of course, Kazakh, Tartar, Uzbeks, and so on. So out of the variety of this cultures, the fusion of cuisines, we had to really narrow down in order to gain some focus. Madina, next slide. Is it working? maybe you should restart and.
Unfortunately, the slide is not working.
It works on my screen. Let me check.
Try
Let
to
me
share and try to
Okay.
reset. Okay,
Just a
so
second.
in order to gain the focus, микрофон выключите. Go full screen.
Yes, we
Go
see.
full screen first, and then.
Does it work?
No, it's not. Okay, as long as you can move the slides, it's fine. Let's go to the first E, and keep your microphone off, please. Let's go to eco.
We cannot see the slide. We just see one slide. Please proceed with the speech.
Okay. I apologize for this technical issue, but just to reiterate, our focus was on 4 aspects of travel here in Kazakhstan, which we named 4E. First E is for eco. Eco travel is huge in the world, and in Kazakhstan, you can be staying in guest houses with local people. You can be visiting national parks. We have 14 beautiful national parks, and what really sets apart our national parks is that the nature is really unspoiled there, and many of the parks are in remote areas, making it difficult access, but a truly rewarding experience, because in some parts of the park, people never set foot, and you can observe not only beautiful views, but also wildlife and so on. The second E is for ethnic tourism. As you know, Kazakhstan shares the legacy of nomadic past. Jointly with a few other countries here in the region, we can be offering anything from staying overnight in yurts, traditional Kazakh house, hunting with eagles, horseback riding tours, and so on. The third E stands for entertainment, and as you know, casinos are allowed here. There is a huge opportunity for shopping, nightlife, especially in Almaty, a bustling city of the Central Asia. It's also tax-free shopping here in Almaty. It's golf, it's ski resorts, and so on. And the last but not least, E, the slide you can see is events, and we're trying to position both Almaty and Nur-Sultan as Central Asian hubs for event tourism, or what it's called professionally MICE tourism. And we are home to many global events such as Expo 2017, Asian Winter Games in 2011, World University Games in 2017, and so on. Different political gatherings, a lot of sports and incentive events here in Kazakhstan. We have developed a special package for travel organizers, especially for MICE tourism, whereby the government is ready to share some of the costs if you're bringing at least 100 delegates on an international event, be it let's say a meeting of board of directors of a private company, or it's a symposium or a conference or an exhibition held in Astana, Almaty, or in other cities of Kazakhstan. You will be entitled to free post and pre-event tours, to gala dinners and free venues and so on. So it's a different package. If someone is interested, we'll be sharing more information on that one. Currently, we are open to 24 destinations. Of course, some of the COVID precautionary regulations are still in place. We require PCR tests, and the resumption of flights is gradually taking place. Hopefully, very soon, once NEOS is setting up its regular flight, we'll be adding Italy to again back to visa-free regime. But pre-COVID, we were open to 73 countries on a visa-free mode. So hopefully we can renew this as soon as possible. This is being on hold due to COVID, of course. But nevertheless, Italian citizens can be obtaining visas now. In the past, it was not possible just a few months ago, but now it's possible. So that's the end of my presentation. I'll be happy to take any questions. Thanks once again, Excellencies, Marco, to you, and hopefully we can bring forward the cooperation in tourism field as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kairat. We will keep on working together to make Italy and Kazakhstan closer also for tourism. Another good friend of mine, Asylbek Zakiev, is the chairman of the Petro Council Oil and Gas.
Good afternoon. Grazie mille, signore e signori. I will be short after many presentations. Just first of all, I would like to greet all participants. So Italy is one of the premier investors into oil and gas industry of Kazakhstan. Petro Council Oil and Gas Association was created back in 2018 under auspices of Atomic National Chamber of Entrepreneurs and the Kazenergy. So our core role is to promote local content development, as well as to promote joint ventures between foreign and local companies in oil and gas sector. So our primary target is three main operators. This is NCOC, that is operator of Kashagan oil field, KPO, that is operator of Karachaganak oil field, and TCO, the operator of Tengiz oil field. 80% of all procurement that happens in oil and gas sector accounts for the three major operators. So it means a role of such companies as ENI is very important. Italian business has a very strong presence in West Kazakhstan. So we are based in Atyrau, the heart of oil and gas industry, the capital of oil and gas industry. We have been working closely with Italian companies. So as I said, the primary role is to support foreign companies to enter Kazakh market. There are several good cases when we supported joint ventures between small and medium Italian companies, SMEs, and local companies in service industry, in IT. This is very important because 30% of all oil export goes to Italy. Therefore, Italian region is, as I said, a primary as well partner for Atyrau region. We have been engaged in several projects as IT hub in oil and gas industry. We are doing localization initiatives in Atyrau region as well through promoting private industrial zones. As well, we are working now on petrochemical projects to support this special economic zone Atyrau petrochemical plant. This is a risk where Italian SMEs, small and medium-sized companies can come and can work. We are ready to support since we are here on the ground. Therefore, we'll be happy to cooperate. As I said, ENI is primary partner back 2019 before the pandemic. Our delegation went to Ravenna. So we supported several Italian companies to come to Kazakh market, oil and gas market. I will be happy to touch with you. Therefore, I would like to thank Marco for inviting to this very important event, since Italy is not only our partner, but as well as a friend. We have a very big Italian community in Atyrau region, as well in Aksai, in the Western Kazakhstan region. Therefore, this is a good opportunity to strengthen our relationship and network. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Asylbek. Thank you very much. So with Asylbek's speech, we close the business speeches, and we will move to best practice. So we have three friends which will tell us what they are trying to do, what they are developing with Kazakhstan, what they have done in the past. We will pass from newcomers to Kazakhstan until an organization that already working and organizing events on the fashion in Kazakhstan since long time. Now I have the pleasure to pass the stage to Carlo Straudiotti, CIO of Neosair. Carlo, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear us?
Very good. Please go ahead.
Okay. I'm with my friend and colleague Aldo. Aldo Sarmataro is the commercial director of the company. And we have the pleasure to be here with you. And thanks so much for this kind of invitation. As Kairat was mentioning, NEOS is trying to better understand the situation in Kazakhstan as far as both aviation and tourism. We had the lucky opportunity to meet, thanks to the coordination of the Kazakh authorities, the main tour operator and travel agencies in the country. And we earned the understanding that a direct connection between the two countries is feasible and can be justified from both a business and a tourist perspective. Of course, it's not an easy thing. The situation, as you know, is still conditioned by the pandemic situation. The visa issue is still an open point, which we hope will be cleared very soon. And we do look forward to the opportunity of working together with the local carrier. We had some contact with Air Astana, because I think it really makes sense that Italy and Kazakhstan have a direct connection with direct flight, a couple of once a week at least, twice a week possibly, and understand which kind of equipment. NEOS is part of the biggest leisure concern in the country, in Italy. It's part of a group which includes the main tour operator and hotel company. So I think it's a great counterpart for whoever is willing to consider tourist flows between the two countries. The outcome of the discussions we had in Almaty is very interesting, and we are confident that once the situation with the pandemic is, let me say, over, hopefully over, it's a good grain field for us to start working with the right Kazakh counterpart. I don't know, Aldo, if you want to add something, because we also had some contacts with other counterparts in the country, which do reinforce the idea that we could do something together.
Good morning to everybody. Thanks, Carlo. I think that you covered all the main topics, but let me add a couple of things. Of course, for us, it would be there's a big interest for us to try to develop a touristic flow between the two countries, because we are part of the main touristic group, and also we think that there's a good interest from Kazakhstan to come to Italy and to Europe. So Italy could be a gate also to visit our country, but also Europe. And we are working to develop the possibility to connect the two countries also for business purposes. And we are in contact also with the region of Turkestan in order to try to do to exploit the same opportunity in order to develop that area in Kazakhstan, but also to understand if there is the possibility to do some incoming from Turkestan from Italy. So as Carlo said, now we need to understand which will be the possibility to open the free visa for the Italian to come to Kazakhstan, and behind this historic pandemic and try to develop the project.
Marco, if we will maybe send to you a company presentation to all participants, if you can kindly distribute this. I don't want to steal time to anybody to explain exactly who NEOS is, how many airplanes, which kind of activities, whatever. I think it's more important that maybe some documentation is transferred to all the foreign participants upon conclusion. I want to thank you, the Kazakh authorities, because we do understand that the two flights we perform were not just an easy thing to do. We have been supported, we have been allowed to do that. We have been very happy to take this opportunity. And there was a good occasion to understand how the country might be interesting from our perspective for the establishment of direct connection. It all happened by chance, simply because we had an ambassador in Italy, in Kazakhstan, an Italian ambassador in Kazakhstan, who insisted so much, you should come here, you should come here. We had so many meetings on the web, and finally we said, okay, we come. And thanks to the former ambassador of Italy, Kazakhstan, Mr. Davino, who forced us to do so. We do thank him for this. Of course, we have established a good contact with new ambassador now in the country, and I understand that also from the Minister of Foreign Affairs in Italy, there is interest and pressure to make sure that this link really can start. So that's what we wanted to transfer to you, Marco. Of course, we thank the Chamber of Commerce. We thank you personally. We are trying to do something together, of course, and we do count on your support in the country to make this happen. I think for us, it's all. Thank you so much. Of course, and any question might arise, we'll be pleased to answer.
Thank you very much, Carlo. The investment NEOS has done in organizing the first two direct connection, which has been done in July and October, was a big step in order to launch this new destination, both for Milan and for Almaty. I'm sure you remember that both the authorities of Kazakhstan and Italy, with the embassy of Kazakhstan, has fully supported your activity, and local authorities in Kazakhstan are very happy and supportive in making this connection a reality as soon as the pandemic restriction will be removed. Another story is stories about local production in Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan is always looking, as we understood, for quality and serious investors and companies which wants to produce and to use the made in Kazakhstan logos and to create new activities, not only in the oil and gas, but in this case is oil and gas. We have the pleasure to have Sandro Malcuori, Chief Commercial Officer, Petrovalves, which will tell us his stories in Kazakhstan.
Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. I will be brief. I will give you a quick overview of the adventure that we have initiated in Kazakhstan quite some time ago. In fact, we have been Petrovalves, the company that I represent, has been playing in the market of Kazakhstan oil and gas industry for many years. But we have decided recently to make an investment in the country. Kazakhstan, the three customers that were mentioned before, KPO, NCOC, and TCO, are indeed our largest customers base that we have in the country. They represent for our group 10% of our global revenues, so quite a significant revenue stream for us. We have established a brand new technology center in Aksai, in the country, with the objective of making it one of our global center of excellencies, not only serving the Kazakhstan oil and gas market, but also the oil and gas market in the Caspian region. This is the only major valve facility in Kazakhstan being developed in partnership with our local partner, local company called Merlion Group, giving us a strong footprint in the territory. The infrastructure is being completed. It consists of 3,000 square meter facility with the possibility of further extension to a 5,000 square meter facility based on the actual volumes of business that we will be able to secure in the country. Major equipment are being installed as we speak. The facility will be fully operational by the end of Q1 2022. So we are We are at the very beginning of our journey from the facility perspective. The scope of work that we will be performing in the facility in the country will be valve repair and maintenance, new valve manufacturing. We will also perform field services. So we will have a crew of field service engineers that will be deployed to the oil and gas plants operating in the country, where we will be able to support the operation and maintenance activities of our key customers. And then we aim also at implementing training courses for our employees, for young engineers within our customers' organizations, and for the local community which is operating in the oil and gas industry. Our operations manager is in place. We are now in the process of fulfilling our hiring plan. We aim at hiring approximately 40 resources, 40 engineers that will be stationing in Kazakhstan and will be fulfilling the operations of our facility. And we are extremely proud of our investment in the country, and with the support of our key customers, as well as the local authorities in the country, we believe that we will make our localization effort in Kazakhstan a success, a sustainable success, with a significant contribution to the local communities. Thank you very much for your attention, and I wish you a good day ahead.
Thank you very much. So we are getting closer to the end of our forum. We have talked about oil and gas. We have talked about machinery, technology. We have talked about tourism, and obviously, when you talk about Italy, you need to talk about fashion and fashion production and trends. My good friend Matteo Scarparo is the head of trade and business services at Associazione. Is extremely expert about Kazakhstan because he's organizing since long time. What, Matteo, tell us.
Thanks, Marco. Thank you for the opportunity, Marco. Thank you, Mr. Ambassador. Спасибо большое за возможность. What we are actually private companies belonging to the Italian Footwear Manufacturers Association. So we are presenting 600 footwear manufacturers. We're representing the industries, meaning that we represent the manufacturers, small and medium enterprises, even big manufacturing units. We represent brands, some of those brands which are worldly famous like Ferragamo or Geox, but starting the business as footwear manufacturers. But the majority of our companies, the 80% of our companies are small and medium enterprises. So we started working in Kazakhstan actually in 2002. So next year will be 20 years from our very first experience in that country. And we started when the market was growing at really rocketing pace. I mean, considering after the break of the Soviet Union, we had the big Russian market, making the big part of our exports there, and then Kazakhstan soon after follow on. The experience that we had in this very interesting part of the world is that we perceived a very high rate of fidelity and loyalty in the customers that with whom we grew contacts in the last 20 years. We started our presence in the market, organizing events with our companies, considering 25 brands, taking hotel rooms, showing collections to B2B customers, and we went on 10 years like this after the first big crisis that of course reduced the amount of our companies, I mean the number of companies on the market, and also the numbers of export to Kazakhstan. But this didn't end up with our experience. The fidelity and the relationship we created with Kazakh customers was so strong that we could go on and work on this basis to grow further on in the following years. So now, after 20 years, we are still bringing in the market from 50 to 60 companies every 6 months, to make business in the country. And what's more, we created in Almaty a little hub for all Central Asians. So what we do in Almaty is creating a B2B events, actually twice, because we are very connected with seasonality yet, with seasonal. And we gather buyers coming from regional, from all the other stands which are nearby Kazakhstan. So we have a community of from 200 to 300 customers gathering in Almaty every 6 months, even from Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan, even from Turkmenistan, we started to make some business in Almaty. The partnership that we created is a very institutional one. We had a big partner with regions, financing our companies who are participating in our events. We have, of course, a close partnership with the Italian Trade Agency and the Italian Embassy there. We have got the full support of our institutions. And what we have been able to create is a very strong link with major customers coming to Milan. So we have our big show, which is the biggest show in the world for footwear, which is MICAM. What we have noticed in these years that the flow of buyers coming from Central Asia has been growing constantly, and we now have 450 buyers coming each edition in MICAM. So the basic idea is that Kazakhstan, in our view, is a country where personal relationships, cultural relationships in the year with commitment of both parts can really create some value for Italian small and medium enterprises. We have seen the majority of the names that we have been mentioned during this interesting forum was big names of pharma, of oil and gas, but actually Kazakhstan is a potential market also for small and medium enterprises. So our examples is to have more than 60, 70 SMEs in the footwear business, constantly present in the market, selling their shoes to family businesses, online platforms, bloggers selling through social commerce, all these new distributions formulas that are growing up also in Kazakhstan, but which can give more opportunities to our companies. As an association, we have to support this, we have to invest, we keep on investing with the help of our institutions, and also taking advantage of the great, rate of openship that the Kazakh government has always showed us. Even during the pandemic, Kazakhstan was the very first country letting us in with the business visa. That was a great example of commitment towards our companies that we fully appreciated, and we will really hope will give us the opportunity to be and to further grow in the next future. So thank you once again for this opportunity. Thank you, Marco. Thank you, Mr. Ambassador. Thank you so much.
We thanks also Honorable Osnato, because in the past he already, regarding the problem of the traveling between Kazakhstan and Italy, Mr. Osnato and his group in Parliament was very active, and on the request of embassy and directly from the request of ambassador, they wrote to Parliament, they wrote to Ministry and to the Commission in order to try to speed up the reopening of the presence of our Kazakh friends in Italy. It's not easy because obviously the discussion is, Honorable, am I right, is worldwide. I mean, it's goes by region and not by countries. But what we want to say is that we are trying very hard to normalize the situation and to normalize the flight. In this moment, I think that I could say if someone has some question for our excellent ambassador or any participant, we are ready to answer. Otherwise, we will pass the stage to ambassador.
Grazie mille. Io vorrei ringraziare tutti. Marco, grazie per moderare questo evento, è un grande evento e molto importante per noi come ambasciata, per il Kazakistan. Come dicevamo, siamo in 30° anniversario della nostra Repubblica. La ringrazio onorevole Marco Osnato per partecipare in questo evento, anche come dicevo prima, i rapporti interparlamentari molto importanti per sviluppare cooperazione tra i due paesi, non solo in politica ma anche in economia, in cultura, eccetera. La ringrazio moltissimo Paolo Ghirelli, che amico storico del Kazakistan, come dicevamo, dal 1996, quando abbiamo detto che abbiamo creato questa prima associazione, eravamo insieme in questo evento per creare associazioni insieme con il presidente Guglielmo Moscato e altre importanti persone della industria italiana. E oggi però ho un'altra missione molto piacevole per consegna onorificenza della Repubblica del Kazakistan alla signora Franca Squarciapino. Signora, volevo dire solo 2 parole per far sapere chi è signora Franca Squarciapino, la famosa pittrice italiana che ha conquistato il riconoscimento internazionale con il suo lavoro nel teatro drammatico e musicale, oltre che nel cinema. Basta dire che ha debuttato al Teatro alla Scala nel 1980, creando i disegni dei costumi per il Mandarino Miracoloso con la coreografia di Roland Petit. Ha collaborato con i più grandi teatri d'opera nel mondo, il London Royal Theatre, Metropolitan Opera in New York, l'Opera di Zurigo, l'Opera di Stato di Vienna. Ha vinto l'Oscar per il film Cyrano de Bergerac in 1990, diretto da Jean-Paul Rapneau, vincitore del premio internazionale Opera Star 2019 nella nomination Miglior costumista. E ha anche collaborato con il Kazakistan. Astana Opera ha disegnato i costumi per i balletti La Bella addormentata nel bosco, Il lago dei cigni, Romeo e Giulietta, La fontana di Bakhchisarai, Bayaderka, tantissimi, Don Quixote, Corsar, Giselle, chi altro? Coppia, Abai è di Latif Hamidi, nostro, come avete visto anche il libro su Abai, Madame Butterfly, Puccini, Carmen, Barbiere di Siviglia, tantissimi.
Quello che è importante.
Sì. Per i meriti indicati, il capo dello Stato, Presidente della Repubblica del Kazakhstan, Kassym-Jomart Tokayev, con decreto del 29 novembre 2019 ha insignita medaglia dell'Ordine d'Ostig di secondo grado. Purtroppo in quel tempo è venuta pandemia, Covid-19, e non avevamo possibilità di fare queste consegne nel tempo, ma oggi io vorrei questa mia missione molto piacevole per signora Franca Squarciapino. Prego.
Il mio lavoro è stato bellissimo in Kazakistan perché abbiamo cominciato dal niente, c'era un grandissimo teatro nuovo, enorme, un palcoscenico enorme, e senza macchinisti, senza sarti, era il teatro. E con mio marito, Ezio Frigerio, abbiamo cominciato a creare le maestranze, cioè a chiamare gli italiani che i francesi o gli spagnoli. Io ho sartorie italiane che i primi anni hanno fatto i costumi per gli spettacoli che si facevano. E qui abbiamo la sartoria Brancato che ci ha aiutato moltissimo. E piano piano con una mia amica carissima che aveva uno stupendo atelier a Parigi, abbiamo cominciato a lavorare per tirar fuori una sartoria kazaka. Ora questo teatro, dopo anni, perché abbiamo lavorato diversi anni con tanti spettacoli, questo teatro è diventato finalmente un teatro all'altezza degli altri teatri europei e non europei. Veramente per noi è stato veramente una cosa bellissima. Mio marito ha cominciato come macchinisti, ha usato gli operai che stavano terminando il teatro. È stato veramente vedere nascere un teatro, è stato bellissimo.
Il documento di questo ordine.
Grazie. Abbiamo due, anche mio marito. Grazie.
Grazie, grazie. Ambasciatore, l'ultima parte del forum per la chiusura invece è che a volte si danno medaglie, a volte si ricevono. Abbiamo una piccola sorpresa per lei. L'Associazione per il Commercio Italo-Kazakh da un anno a questa parte sta cercando di ringraziare tutte le persone che ci stanno aiutando a crescere a livello internazionale, sia da parte italiana che da parte kazaka, istituendo una lifetime membership, honorary membership. Al momento il club è molto piccolo, ma abbiamo il piacere qui di averne una persona che già l'ha ricevuta, che è Matteo, e oggi avrei il piacere di darle questa lifetime membership di ACIC, che è un ringraziamento per averci coinvolto nell'organizzazione di questo importantissimo forum. A lei la chiusura, ambasciatore. Abbiamo, se non sbaglio, un piccolo ricevimento all'uscita della stanza. Ambasciatore, se vuole chiudere il forum, grazie mille.
Grazie, vorrei di nuovo ringraziare tutti per questo evento, questo business forum che è, come dicevo, molto importante per il Kazakistan, ma credo che non solo per Kazakistan, perché oggi abbiamo scambiato una esperienza best practice success story di aziende italiane che hanno lavorato in Kazakhstan e molti stanno lavorando adesso e quindi spero che avete avuto una esperienza come funziona in Kazakistan, come si può investire in Kazakistan, come si può lavorare in Kazakistan per beneficio di tutti e due paesi e tutti imprenditori. Grazie, come dicevo prima, buon Natale, buone feste per tutti.